My name is Kate Piazza, and I'm originally from Fredonia, New York.
My name is Joe Town, and I'm from Jamestown, New York.
My name is Janelle Dillon, and I live in Horseheads, New York.
The thought pattern is that when you graduate, you can get a very large salary, and it's much better than if you didn't go to college. So we all took out loans as we needed, with little financial literacy or little background on those loans, with the promise of the golden goose egg upon graduation. But then when you graduate, you realize that you're graduating with at least a portion of a mortgage payment.
I ended up with $27,000 of undergrad debt, and 2009 was the recession, and it was a time where there weren't very many jobs available, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go to grad school because at least I can continue on with my education.
You know, looking at the generation before us and before that, they were able to go to school and come out of it without any debt whatsoever. And they were able to buy a house in their 20s. They were able to buy a car in their 20s. And these things really help the economy as a whole for our country. I mean, there's many people in their 20s and 30s that aren't buying houses right now. They're either renting or they're going from place to place to place, and that's hurting our economy.
I have a 3.5-month-old son. We've just most recently started looking for a house, and where my school loans always kind of come back to haunt me. I've gotten approved by one bank for a house loan, but three of the other banks that I looked into wouldn't approve me because of my income to debt ratio.
You know, what I would have to do is, which I plan to do when I get a little older or whatever, is sell my house so that my son doesn't have that debt for the rest of his life, is pay it then. But by that time, so much interest has been paid because I've already, well, this is his second year out. We've paid probably, what, going on $10,000 in interest. You know, and that's just not fair. And it stops kids, I don't mean to be emotional, but it stops kids from pursuing an education because they can't get a loan on their own and their parents can't afford the interest.
You know, we're sitting here today in my old high school, and it's making me think about an issue that we need to take on as a country, and that's the college cost crisis across America. And when I came through my studies, I had $110,000 worth of student loan debt that we accumulated as a result of getting that education. I know firsthand, my wife and I sitting around our dining room table wondering how I was going to make that student loan payment for the next month, how it limited the options that we had in discussing career, where we were going to go and what we were going to do with our future. And so this crisis has to be taken under control, because not only from my own personal experience, but the stories I've heard from so many people across the district, from so many parents that are concerned about what we're all concerned about, providing a better life for the next generation, our kids. So as we look at this crisis across America, we're trying to identify solutions to take this crisis on. In the endowment space, we have institutions across the country that have $1 billion or more of tax-free accumulated accounts, tax-deducted gifts that have been given to these institutions. I want more of that money going to working families. I want more of that money going to tuition reduction for families across America. I want to make sure there's transparency in this environment so that the universities and colleges are held accountable by you, the consumers, you, the students, you, the parents, and to ask, where is the money going and why are these costs so high? I'm teaming up with Democrats and Republicans, coming together to solve a problem such as what John Garamendi and I are talking about with student loan interest refinancing. Allow kids to take advantage of these low interest rates that are there as many times as possible to alleviate the burdens that come with this debt. Things like the Perkins loan and the flexible Pell Grant program. You know, these are programs to me that work, and we should make sure the funding is there, but at the same time also make them flexible to reflect the environment of today. And by implementing these solutions, hopefully that's a step in the right direction. I know it is, but I know there's more solutions out there. That's why I want you to reach out to us. Tell us your stories. Tell us what you think will work. Tell us what you know from the front line as a potential solution that maybe we haven't thought about, because it comes from you, the real solutions that are going to take this crisis and get it under control.